first, they're calling me a loser, but all I keep hearing is I get pie. So I think I am the winner,
now,
and they've been bamboozled.
I think I'm in the best position right now. I'm not going to throw that pie softly, Charmer. You will be getting an aggressive pie thrown to your face. You're not going to enjoy it, believe me.
No, that's fine. Also, just so you guys know, my bracket says MieGod is winning. So, Hoej, you're my boy. You've got some new toys, and you're going to have a face full of joy because clearly you're going to win since I picked MieGod.
Well, I have Hoej in the final, so that is good news for me and my pie-throwing arm. Yes, Charmer. We're going to see the game starting up very soon. MieGod is queuing up. Hoej still, being patient. A nice reserved man he is. Very calm, collected.
He's probably just feeding this bird, man.
That could be it. Maybe
Thing is hungry.
Positioning the webcam to get the best angle of both his bird and his...
yeah, to celebrate his inevitable victory.
His young-looking face. He's actually 26, I think, and he looks 18. But
yeah. Absolutely.
Big surprise.
The game is starting up, and it looks like we are going to see Hoej beginning on the red-green list, and on the other side, MieGod on the mono-red list. So no mirror right out of the gate.
And we see, a fairly good start for Hoej. He has 1 Stars Align and 1 Time of Triumph. Wants to try and find that 2nd Stars Align or the favor to get... well, he can still get the Time of Triumph on the 2nd lane if he plays a Treant there. So I think we will probably see a Treant in lane 2 next turn just to have that chance to find... either the favor or the Stars Align, giving him that Time of Triumph early.
Yeah, just to give yourself that little bit of an edge, and because Lycan's not in any trouble here, that is going to be very, very likely. Even if you get a poor melee creep spawn and the Treant has to go in front of Bristleback, not the end of the world, because Treant does have the 10 health, so why not take the chance,
I'm looking at the list. There is a Beastmaster in this red-green ramp. Not something we normally see, but Primal Roar can be quite useful later on. A good start in this lane 2 with damage onto the Bristleback, but the answer there from MieGod with the Bronze Engineer to answer back.
All right, and here we're just going to see quick resolution of round 1.
We'll see where Treant goes. I have to expect he'll be in lane 2 or lane 3 just to have the chance for that Time of Triumph next turn. Or this turn, rather.
Yeah, I mean, it's too spicy to not try it, in my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. If you end up in front of this Bristleback, and that's 100% guaranteed.
Well, with 2 creeps coming...
because the 2 creeps are going to go in front of Legion and the other creep. That's so you do... I mean, maybe, yeah. I was going to say, maybe instead you go to this 3rd lane where you got a 50-50 to not end up in front of the Legion commander.
Yeah. And no weapon in hand for the Bristleback to kill the Treant, but with a Viscous Nasal Goo, for example, you would have enough damage to kill Treant. Right. So this may be the safer play.
And we can see that now, or something like Double Edge, because it is a list that has some burst options available.
And no favor found, so next turn we could see it with a Roseleaf Druid, also adding some extra ramp there.
Yeah, the Roseleaf, if you play it next to that Treant in the 3rd lane, would be enough to get that going. I have to imagine that's going to be the game plan here because not only do you already have the 2 heroes there, but the Roseleaf getting the armor makes it more resilient.
Yeah, just to make sure a duel, for example, can't come down from that Legion.
Yeah, everything is lining up in that 3rd lane. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves because we have... this lane looking pretty much in favor of MieGod, right? The Lycan does survive for a bit, but everything else going in favor of Mr. Luck. And Stonehall comes down, does not catch the arrow. But this is still 12 damage on this tower.
And double smash in hand to counter a favor, actually. So it's almost good that Hoej does not have the favor in hand. Has not drawn that card this turn. It would have been a guaranteed counter from Legion, I think.
Yeah.
Especially once you see the Stars Align come down. So almost a good thing, to be honest, to have the Roseleaf Druid instead. You don't have to rely on improvement, and there is not going to be a counter unless enough magic is drawn, and it is in hand already for MieGod, so...
Yeah, the enough magic is problematic. That will be a tool available to stop, to interrupt the Stars Align into a Time of Triumph, and as we kind of look ahead to the deploys, Hoej is going to have to decide how greedy he wants to be with his Beastmaster. Does he want to put it in the 3rd lane and try to get a 3-man Time of Triumph, knowing that telegraphs?
And that's, I mean, huge, because the big advantage of running green and red-green is to have this ramp. And MieGod has the perfect counters in hand with 2 smashes and enough magic for this match specifically.
All right, and Hoej plays it conservative, puts the Beastmaster into the middle lane, knowing that he's got to slow MieGod down a little bit. Because again, winning one lane with Time of Triumph kind of doesn't matter if you lose the other 2.
And the Savage Wolf can be played. No Drought to make it a direct trade with the melee creep, for example, on MieGod's side. You can play Stonehall Cloak, but again, you are still going to be dying here to the Centaur Warrunner due to the Retaliate effect. Return, that's what it's called.
Interesting.
Could see the Nasal Goo as well, just to modify the Lycan even further. What we see instead, no plays from MieGod.
All right, so here we go into the middle lane, which is very contested and at the moment pretty important.
And the hand is a bit awkward for MieGod. He has the counter to ramp, but not much else in terms of proactive plays, in terms of creeps, in terms of developing his own board.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Hoej, it's pretty clunky as well because you've got a lot of your expensive cards, but you cannot play them yet. This duel does not look very attractive at the moment.
And the enough magic will stop Time of Triumph, but it would also just take 12 damage to the tower, so not great for MieGod either. I think he's going to be very relieved to stop the ramp. It's going to be a big thing for him, but still not a great position here. And I think the big fight is going to be in the middle lane here. We see lane 1 very much in favor of MieGod. Lane 3 going to be in favor of Hoej as well.
Yeah, this middle lane is very contested, and what's going to be helping Hoej out is that he has that Lycan that will be coming back. And that's a big deal, right? Because you've got 2 heroes, at least at the moment, stranded in this first lane. And if you don't find mobility as MieGod, then you're going to be down a hero in the contested lane.
Now there are 3 enough magics for MieGod, which means that he has a chance to draw a second one. And even if the Stars Align is drawn by Hoej, he can still counter the Time of Triumph next turn as well in this middle lane. But for now, Legion will be dueling the Stonehall Elite, making sure that doesn't grow out of control, and still staying alive against this very weak Tidehunter. You
mean the creepy fish?
That's, yep, they can call it that as well. A card that doesn't do much killing. We'll have Ravage up, though, in 2 turns, which could be crucial. And this is going to be a very easy now. Yeah, mana is not wasted by MieGod. I think he didn't have much to play anyway, but Stars Align will come down, I have to imagine, just as a check for enough magic. It's the only tool really that will do anything here.
And if you are going to check, as you said, for enough magic, this is the lane you want to do it in because it still is going to deal 12 damage. It's a feels bad. I mean, you have to do it, right? But you're not excited about this enough magic.
And it is the only option here because Berserker's Call and Duel would not be killing any of the 2 heroes that you need to combo this off. And of course, Gust isn't played in mono red.
Yeah, it turns out.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the Stars Align. Hoej took his time to kind of think about it.
And this is the enough magic check for MieGod. He does pass test number 1, but now he will have to depend on Hoej not drawing Stars Align this next turn, or drawing a second enough magic for himself to pass possible test number 2 on this Time of Triumph ramp. I think we have to see a Lycan lane 2 now. I think lane 1 is very much out of control for Hoej. We'll see if he...
And there's a Celomene's favor by the pair.
But
there are
the answer with the smash.
A pair of smash their defenses as well, so...
Initiative will be crucial, though. Can be played. Well, actually, cannot be played from lane 2 to lane 3, so going to be a slow round here for Hoej. Primal Roar still not up. You have really no plays other than the third lane green spells here, so a lot of passing from Hoej this turn. Can activate the Beastmaster ability. No items to equip either.
Yeah, there is actually a chance that what we see is a Celomene's favor in that third lane go backwards to the middle lane, because then, yes, your opponent might have smashed their defenses, but if you have initiative, then you can take advantage of that mana first.
But you are talking to a guy that has 2 Kraken Shells in hand due to that Tidehunter signature.
Well, yeah, but we know that.
Well, Hoej can imagine. You're playing Tidehunter, you have a very high chance of drawing into his signature spell. You don't have any Fight Through the Pains for that reason, but still, 3 initiative cards in MieGod's hand, and a very full hand as well, so Hoej has to imagine something is up.
I mean, at least you make him use it, though, right?
That's true. Well, you have 2, though, so you still have... I think these Kraken Shells will not, he'll have initiative the whole game, basically.
Yeah.
Double Edge could have been used there. I think Slacks is quite pissed off that it wasn't. Heard a scream in the background.
Is that what that was?
Could be SUNSfan be getting bitten again. We've seen a lot of that this weekend, or this week rather. The Loyal Beast does come down to, health deal some extra damage. No health item to equip on a, well, it already has a Stonehall Cloak.
The deep holds many mysteries.
Talking about initiative.
Yeah, talking about initiative, but also kind of interesting that it was on the bristle there.
The duel comes down now. The armor saves the Bristleback from the creep damage as well, so he will survive with only a single Kraken Shell used. It was used for armor instead of the initiative, but still a second in hand, and I think this is a... I think Hoej knows that he could maybe expect a second one if that happens.
All right, so at 7 here, you do have a couple of options. You could Salamania's Favor in this lane and then try to Savage Wolf with a follow-up, though we know that would be interrupted. Or you do enable Spring the Trap, which I am kind of a fan of. Playing Spring the Trap in the existing lane would help accelerate that clock, or you could play it in the middle lane because, again, that's very contested.
Yeah, I think the middle lane makes sense. You're going to get Time of Triumph no matter what, I think, in lane 3, because if Smash comes down in this lane for like a Stars Align potential, and you have initiative here, then you can just go for time instead. Also,
the 4 attack on the Centaur is enough to threaten that Bristleback the following turn, so they'll have to use something, whether it's a health item or another Kraken Shell, just to keep it alive.
Lycan will come in, but that Ravage is online. You have the Kraken Shell. You have the hero positions in lane 1 to steal back initiative, even if a play is made in lane 1. So
now, normally this is where I would remind you that the Ravage is only a 50% chance on everything, not a enemy neighbor. However, this is MieGod we're talking about, so you might as well just put money in the bank that is going to hit the entire squad.
And we see all the ramps stuck in hand for Hoej. Not going to be all that useful. We're getting kind of to the limit where we're going to get the natural 8 mana turn anyway, and we're going to see a stun on Legion that's going to stop the Time of Triumph this turn anyway in lane 1. So a bit unfortunate for Hoej. Couldn't find the cards in the right order, or at least the positioning. And still, it would have been a smash answer back from MieGod anyway. So
had the pieces to the puzzle, but couldn't put them together properly. Sometimes that happens. I'm not very good at puzzles. I kind of stare at the picture on the box, and then I look at them, and it just never comes together for me.
You can still see a lot of damage coming through in lane 2. Even if the Legion is stunned, if the Lycan is not stunned, we could still see a Favor and a Savage Wolf played. Well, never mind, I guess.
I said, just put it in the bank. They're all getting stunned. I'm surprised that any unit made it through. So there is still 9 damage currently being threatened. However, MieGod does have access to Spring the Trap here. They have the Stonehall Elite, Standard Bearer. They have plenty of options.
See the Standard Bearer to trade onto this Legion if it's placed in front of the creep next to Tidehunter.
That is one option. You also could just see something like a double edge, because with the stun, you're not worried about having massively negative armor.
There's also no item in hand for Hoej, so there isn't a chance for Jasper Daggers to counter this Tidehunter stun either.
All right, so Stonehall Elite comes down there.
We will restore order.
And again, that makes me wonder if we might see a double edge just to clean up the Legion Commander.
Now, initiative can be taken back for MieGod at the end of this sequence of events here, and he could enough magic in lane 3 to stop lethal this turn and stop the Time of Triumph as well.
And all right, no double edge.
And Time of Triumph
wants to save it for a little burst.
We could see a Favor come down as well. There's only, well, or even the Emissary, really.
I mean, you could, but
no, I like the Emissary, I think. You want a Time of Triumph in lane 2, I believe, just because that's the lane you have to be pushing for damage. Lane 3 is almost taken already. Emissary would threaten kind of a lethal kill as well.
It's kind of a tough call because, on the one hand, you do want to threaten lethal in that middle lane, but you're also a wider board there, so you're going to get more value out of an Emissary. Your Lycan is also healthier, and so if you don't have initiative going in there, your Legion Commander might fall to a duel, but Lycan's more likely to survive. So it's kind of not an easy call.
A pass instead from
of all
Hoej.
Of the options, that was not the one I was expecting to see.
And I mean, you have 2 Emissaries in hand, so even if you want an Emissary lane 2, there's the better option. Just, you only have 1 Time of Triumph. You want to save that maybe for this lane, but Hoej looking to play for initiative maybe, trying to get this guaranteed Time of Triumph on 3 heroes, but he doesn't know that Kraken Shell is in hand, and there is an Axe in lane 1 to benefit from it.
Yeah, I do believe that you are correct. I think that that was the game plan, play for initiative, get the time of triumph off, but I still, personally, I would have liked seeing either time in that other lane, or like you said, one of the emissaries, because you have 2, and it's slow snowball potential to push for an 80, right? Like we've seen emissaries kind of solo do a lot of damage.
I'd be incredibly surprised if Kraken Shell does not come down at some point this turn. You can time a triumph, but then you would be out of mana here. So, yeah, I expect something like a Legion Standard Bear followed by a double edge. Well, yeah, a double edge even. I mean, you could add some more damage, but yeah, Kraken Shell comes down instead. Guarantees initiative, and now this could very well be enough magic this turn because you have 2 more heroes coming in for MieGod to help defend next turn. Your heroes stay alive. Legion is dying as well. Your tower does take some damage, though.
Yeah. The enough magic is the safest line of play.
And he may be going for a tie next turn. We're going to see either a emissary come down here or just the mist and Salamania's favor to help out lane 2 and a blink after that from the Treant Protector that is currently not attacking the tower.
So potion, a mist pickup is also pretty good. It allows you to, you know, cross lane kind of backwards play.
At this point with the current hand, the optimal thing would probably be, you can favor, I guess, and then only 1 mist. Could have just also favored this lane just in case and then double mist anyway to lane 2, but
yeah, I'm a little surprised that the favor went. The only thing I can think of is that maybe they're trying to set up a duel and then time a triumph.
So no mist goes to lane 1.
They're putting the wolf down so that they can blink axe as opposed to the treant.
That's a shame.
And that's actually pretty important because with that placement, something like Berserker's Call or Primal Roar might end up being better.
Definitely Primal Roar here. You could get away a hero and stun the other. A Jasper Dagger can be bought by MieGod. Instead, the Blink Dagger is found in the shop. And we see a Town Portal Scroll for that Treant next turn as well. 1 creep for each player in the middle lane, which is the lane that's going to be, you know, the deciding lane in this game.
Yeah.
The Ancient potential is there as well for MieGod. No Emissary, though, so can't really rush this as much as you would like. You can play a, you know, risky Centaur and Legion in lane 1, and then, you know, maybe a few double edges. You can try and do something, but I think that's way too risky. Still at 60 HP here for MieGod.
Well,
we're looking at it now.
MieGod disagrees with you.
So MieGod going for the win instead of the tie in lane 2. He knows that a time and triumph would pretty much seal the deal on the 7 HP tower. Trying to go for the tie, but is it too little, too late? Or trying to go for the win here, rather.
This is...
Finds 2 double edges.
This is going to be close because there is a Legion Standard Bearer to add damage as well.
You're adding 4, 6,
you are
plus 16.
I believe with the Blink Dagger right on the money, and the gamble
and that's
pays
gonna be
off.
a very ballsy play by MieGod. Instead, taking this Ancient in lane 1 and winning the game. So incredible play from him.
Playing to your outs, did not have the lethal at the deployment.
A very brave play.
Brave.
Instead of going for the tie, going for the win in lane 1. Could have backfired incredibly. I mean, you had the blink to go to lane 2, but wow.
Here's the thing, right? We should be shocked by this, but it's MieGod.
That's true.
He said, you know what, I'm going to draw it. When do I not get exactly what I need at the right time?
He drew the perfect double edge there.
Yeah.
Very surprising, but he did get the, you know, surprising Ancient kill with mono red instead of the Emissary. We mentioned it. It was going to be hard, but still finds the right conditions and wins the first game of this series over Hoej.
And as a result, we are going into the red-green mirror with the differences between the lists being, again, Beastmaster versus Bristleback. MieGod playing the Bristleback version. And MieGod's hand a little clunky for a red-green list, at least at the moment. You have no ramp, but have double Time of Triumph and a Spring the Trap. On the other side, Hoej has some more early game options, but no ramp or finishers. And the Legionnaire comes down. Going to this lane, it's a bit of a staring contest. I don't expect either player to use a duel. It's not really going to accomplish anything.
Creeps helping out the Lycan, but again, could just be a trade here with both Lycan's abilities helping each other out. And Treants both look like they're going to be going lane 2. could be, you know, stars align, Salamania's favorite draw would get the Time of Triumph available for MieGod this turn, although enough magic is there for Hoej to answer back if that is the case. But again, these would be very specific and very lucky draws, even for MieGod.
Yeah, there was no real reason for Hoej to have the Treant go to the lane 3, but there was maybe an argument for MieGod to do his Treant lane 3 to try to save the Bristleback. Instead, just wants to contest what they know is going to be a contested lane by Hoej, because it's pretty easy to read where his Treant was going.
Again, a perfect mirror match here in the first lane. Both players with a creep on one side and the Savage Wolf on the other. And both Lycans will survive one more turn.
And that is a creep with 4 armor. It's not going to take any damage from this Treant.
Could see a duel as well from the Legion just to guarantee the lethal on Treant this turn. Nope, items in hand right now for MieGod.
Yeah, and that would be really important, because again, we've talked about how if you can slow down the green heroes in these lists, you can potentially slow down the ramp, but no hurry necessary either, because if you have a duel on the following turn, you can just answer a Stars Align.
Fight Through the Pain comes down to guarantee the trade here. Bristleback surviving for MieGod, and Axe will be dying for Hoej. So normally played for initiative. In this case, I think that is the single copy as well in MieGod's list. Looks like there are 2 under this icon here. It's hard to see, but I think there are 2 Fight Through the Pains in his deck actually, so he'll have one more option to steal back initiative later on.
But the big deal there is that was a relatively even lane that goes in your favor, and you got the bonus armor on your Bristleback. So again, things kind of going MieGod's way right now.
Healing Salve, an option for this Lycan to survive this turn, but the Cloak not going to be an option because 11 damage is coming through on MieGod's side unless the Savage Wolf is played.
And with this arrow from Beastmaster, there's going to likely be... I mean, you've got to play the Savage Wolf here, right?
Yeah, the Wolf can come down. We could also see a Potion of Knowledge to try and find a second Stars Align. You can get the Time of Triumph this turn as well. I think that would be the case. In either lane, it would be very beneficial. A heal here from Hoej onto Lycan to keep it alive this turn. There's no, I think, way for this Lycan to die for Hoej this turn anyway. Now we'll see the Potion of Knowledge, I think, from MieGod to see what his options are, what he has to work with.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be...
Berserker's Call instead, so no ramp found for MieGod.
Oh my gosh, he didn't find it? Is that possible? MieGod didn't get exactly what he needed at the right time?
I mean, he's been a bit lucky, but I think let's not push it that far. I think a lot of players have had some success, some luck at some point, and you know, some bad luck at other points.
Hey, listen, I've always said I'd rather be lucky than good, so this is nothing but envy on my side.
Rosy Druid comes down. Could have curved into Lycan to guarantee the kill, even if the Savage Wolf is played like we see here from MieGod, and instead, Lycan will survive one more turn for both players, actually. Unless a duel comes down for Hoej. Yeah, that's what we're going to see.
Duel coming down. Will get rid of a green hero, and as we've said, that is still really important. And the Treant has a chance to go down in the middle lane as well with that second duel from Hoej. So that might be the stall needed, because going into mana turn 6 the following turn, that Stars Align would have been very tempting.
And for both lanes, Hoej next turn, even without Roseleaf Druid here, if he finds a Time of Triumph, he can Stars Align into it. There isn't enough magic in hand right now for MieGod, and there is one in the deck, so he can find it before that.
Yeah, if you're Hoej, I think this is just too attractive of a duel to pass up.
Initiative is in favor of MieGod, but there's little he can do. He can trade, or rather, he can use duel himself.
Yeah. So there is the duel that we were expecting. That leaves Legion Commander with 4 health. So MieGod could duel in return.
But now with the lack of armor on Legion,
it would be an even trade.
I'm ready to serve.
The curve there, unfortunate for Hoej, not needed. It's not a Stonehall lead that benefits from the chomping of that creep. We're going to see a duel return onto the opponent's Treant, and we'll trade with this creep. Retaliate comes in, leaves it at 2 HP, and there are no items to heal up on Hoej's side. No Omni-Knight regeneration spells either, so...
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Hoej if that was the lane they were looking to, you know, play a big big you know, time of triumph should they draw it, but the first lane looks really attractive as well.
And looks like full control for Hoej in lanes 1 and 2. A great creep display in lane 1 as well. The Beastmaster ability also active this turn. Lane 3 is in favor of MieGod, but...
Now in this first lane, if you do draw a time of triumph, you have to start by actually healing your Beastmaster. Because if you play Stars Align and your opponent has a duel or has a Berserker's Call, it would just shut you out. So,
although if Axe comes in, it would still be available, and I like this a lot because the Blink Dagger means that you can find Time of Triumph in lane 2 and then blink a Time of Triumph hero into lane 2 in the space that's open with Legion Commander in front of it. So would be very punishing for MieGod if Time of Triumph is found. But again, there's a guaranteed Time of Triumph for MieGod, but only 2 heroes up on lanes 1 and 2, and they're split as well, so not going to be as juicy for him.
Yeah, well, MieGod also has to wait till he gets his green heroes
That's
back,
also true.
So at least one more turn delayed.
And the Triumph not found for Hoej. The second Stars Align instead, a bit too late to the party. There is no Potion of Knowledge either, and no way to card draw here for Hoej, so unfortunate for him, but MieGod will survive one more turn, although he is taking 17 HP in this lane 1.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Hoej is that he's doing a great job of pressuring these lanes the old-fashioned way, right? Let's put creeps on the board. And we could see, yeah, Savage Wolf come down as well, and then that would put this below 10.
And the Enough Magic in lane 2 looks very, very tempting as well. If Hoej can somehow keep initiative, and I don't think it will be possible with slow play here. With
no green hero in that middle lane, I can't see a reason why you wouldn't play the Savage Wolf in this lane.
We can see a blink as well, but I mean, this lane looks already very in favor of Hoej. The duel comes down to stop the Time of Triumph next turn, but Stars Align is already in hand, so not a huge issue for Hoej.
Right. But it also does save some health on your tower, and that's important. Savage Wolf comes down.
Now, if Stonehall Cloak comes down, Enough Magic will be extremely juicy for Hoej next lane with the current state of the board, but currently initiative is in favor of MieGod. I think a Stonehall Cloak is not needed on Axe, so we'll see what MieGod can do to revert the situation. He can play Stonehall Cloak instead. Routed in hand, but not very useful currently.
All right.
Could see the blink on Axe just to get this kill on Legion Commander. There's no item in hand for MieGod. Well, after the Stonehall Cloak is equipped. There's no heal either. And there aren't too many plays that MieGod can make. Well, the Berserker's Call isn't too bad, but it would not kill the Axe in this case.
So a Blink Dagger coming down. I think this is just for the trade.
I think the call can come down here, yeah. I mean, you're dying anyway. Why not kill Legion and the Bronze Legionnaire as well? You slow down a ton. You slow down some of the positioning on the board, but the damage still comes through. Down to 10 HP in lane 2, and this might just be Hoej's game to win now. He does have to find his finishers, though. And there's a routed on 2 heroes.
Yeah, there's a routed on 2 heroes.
Not game winning, but will make it a bit more awkward for Hoej to find, you know, the mana for Time of Triumph next turn. He does have a Stars Align, though, so if he splits it 1 and 1.
Well, with 2 Stars Align, I don't think that it matters where this Treant goes.
11 HP on lane 1 and 10 HP on lane 2 for MieGod. He's in a bit of a pickle, but his hand is looking much better than Hoej's. Hoej has to depend on some great draws in this next round.
Now, the positioning of this Treant is actually rather important because even if Time of Triumph is not drawn, Primal Roar is still available if you wanted to use that here and then save your Enough Magic for the next lane.
And anything that goes to lane 3 will be very good news for Hoej. Obviously has given up that lane from the very beginning of the game. Now Primal Roar in lane 2 is not looking great, but lane 1 still looking pretty good. The Axe would get removed. If Stars Align comes down, you can answer back to that in that way, and there's no emissary to counter that. Again, the draws are not there for Hoej, but he can stall out with a Primal Roar at the very least and get some damage onto this tower.
So you could consider maybe, because you're already in the lead here, playing this Mist of Avernus into the middle lane. You could also just Enough Magic to guarantee that you get it.
Or Primal Roar even looks okay as well, but then you find the Time of Triumph in this lane anyway, and this lane is looking a lot better for Time of Triumph because you're not taking damage already. Whereas this lane, if you Time of Triumph, you're still taking 13. You won't stop the damage, so it's not really an option. Not something to be scared of.
And the Enough Magic is just saying, I don't want you to do anything. Let's get this while we can.
You had blockage as well, still 40 HP on your tower. And now, if only the Lycan landed in front of the Axe, that would have been crucial for Hoej, but instead, going to be stuck with a pretty awkward hand. Can't do much of anything here. Mist of Avernus can come down, but little else. You can ramp into Primal Roar to open up some damage.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because of, you know, again, the Treant has been routed, Primal Roar is worth 4 damage, right? Not great. I think this is just
could be worth it, though. I mean, you move 2 creeps.
Could be.
You save one of your creeps as well to have a wider board next turn.
I think saving the Stars Align is still relatively important because you have another hero coming down from routed, right? The following turn. So I was going to say, I think that either you missed and pass or you just pass.
Well, if the routed hero comes down, you'd be at 7, down to 6, and then up to 8 again with Stars Align. So it would still be Time of Triumph range at least. The Spring comes down for MieGod. Gets the guaranteed tower kill this turn on the 3rd lane, and now only has to worry again about the 1st or 2nd lane. 1st lane is looking scary. Well, still at 40 HP for, well, actually both towers still very healthy for Hoej, so no Blink Dagger found for Hoej. That is pretty massive.
But the Town Portal Scroll is better than nothing, and with 3 gold, you know, Blink Dagger wasn't really an option anyway, so.
Now, if Legion lands on the left side of Axe, the Primal Roar here is insane, but no. So the other Legion dodges it anyway, so not the greatest game plan there for Hoej. He did have initiative, so he could have just stalled out for that and just won the game almost with that play, but Legion dodges actually.
Yeah, but you could Primal Roar from the Legion in that middle lane and at least get rid of the Lycan. So yeah, they get Time of Triumph off, but they get it on just Legion Commander that's already unblocked anyway.
You would have to Stars Align anyway first, so there would be a response from MieGod anyway. We did find the Time of Triumph. Hoej did find that, picked it up this turn actually, so that could just be lethal with 3 heroes here. And 10 HP on the tower. The 12 Siege would kill it this turn. There's nothing for MieGod to do to answer to that. Actually, the call could be relevant onto the Treant.
The call would prevent a follow-up Stars Align, but
if the Flask comes down first on Treant, initiative is in favor of Hoej now.
Yeah, I think initiative is going to stay in favor of Hoej because of the Potion of Knowledge as well.
Well, now the double miss would still kill the Treant even with the Flask, so great play from MieGod.
All right, so Time of Triumph going to be likely played by both players because of the initiative on Hoej's side.
Well, the Stars Line has to come out first just to guarantee you have the 8 mana up, even if your Treant does die this turn to Berserker's Call. And this may be a tie game with 24 damage coming through for Hoej.
Yeah.
Could even take it this turn, actually. Well, if he plays Call, probably not. The Flask comes out on action instead, and now the Berserker's Call could stop the Stars Align ramp. So a greedy play from MieGod instead.
Yeah, that is rather interesting. So
he could have killed the Treant and stopped any form of ramp up to 8 mana from Hoej. Although, of course, then the Berserker's Call would still be active for Axe to break through this wall of creeps, and he would still get the kill here. So MieGod thinking about every possible line of play here. He does finally play the Call. He has the Legionnaire to block, so heads up play from him. Primal Roar is there, but would not do enough. Both red heroes unstunned on the right side.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tough call because Time of Triumph is obviously juicy, but doesn't get you where you want to go. Yeah, so Berserker's Call to threaten lethal, and then the Bronze Legionnaire will answer. And then, yeah, you are correct. We could be looking at a potential tie, a potential draw when we return to this lane.
As he Stars Align into the Druid, into the Bronze Legionnaire. Going to fully block all the damage without any siege damage from Time of Triumph coming down. So heads up play from MieGod, actually, instead of Berserker's Call. First, plays around his opponent's Berserker's Call as well as Time of Triumph. Finds the best route to defend this tower for this turn. And Axe will be dying as well, so 2 heroes dead for Hoej. The tower above 8 siege damage next turn, and the chance for ramp not there even. Well, he'll have only 1 routed here, so it will still be there, I think. He'll be at 8 mana next turn anyway.
Yeah, MieGod with some very, very good, very well calculated plays to navigate through that.
Jasper daggers do come in, but no blink dagger, no money for it either from Hoej, so he cannot blink the Lycan to help out in lane 2. No green plays available now for
Force surrender in 30 seconds.
And
Hoej. The time ticking as well, down under 30 seconds.
so essentially what you're looking for here is this Beastmaster to land in front of the red heroes. This is your path to, okay. So you need initiative, and then Primal Roar can buy you some time if you are Hoej. Picked up a spring and a time. All right, so there's the pass.
Not much you can do anyway. Only stars aligning to nothing, and there's no blink dagger or talent portal scroll anyway. So Hoej, a very easy decision. There's no temptation from his hand right now. The Primal Roar can come down, would spin away this Legion. An Axe would be stunned, but Jasper daggers are in hand though for MieGod.
And this Lycan is going to catch 3 buffs, going up to 9. The daggers will take it to 11. So if we see Primal Roar here, that
even with Time of Triumph, yes.
that is still going to be game because Emissary will come down and buff the Lycan.
Well, the Beastmaster has the active ability, so has a chance to block that Lycan anyway. So I think this is going to be another stall round here. Jasper daggers comes through. Time of Triumph can also come through. It'll be 8 damage from each of these heroes. Only 2 heroes on the board. Emissary going to be blocked. And the active ability from the Loyal Beast will also block the Lycan. So another stall here, this time from Hoej.
Yeah.
It'll be close though. 8 damage coming through and almost a full clear. But Jasper daggers does have the 13
and
damage.
Jasper daggers, because it removes the routed debuff, pushes Hoej.
We saw Jasper daggers on the Axe to stop the stun from Beastmaster, but instead Hoej having the finishing blow with his own Jasper daggers, which we initially missed, but that is the kill there from Hoej and the tie in the series 1-1.
It's so amazing how many times I forget all of the things Jasper daggers removes, right? Routed, one of those things. I think sometimes it's easy to forget that like Viscous Nasal Goo gets removed as well, but yeah, the routed debuff gone, and just like that, Hoej's tied this series up.
It's a single item that changes the meta completely. And it's something you have to watch out for in so many situations where you normally think, oh, I won the game, but then all of a sudden this item exists and you have to be very wary of it. We saw why in this last game, and Hoej ends up tying the series 1-1. And now we'll see MieGod still stuck on his red-green ramp.
You say stuck like it's a bad thing, but
it's
I
probably
see
a good thing, especially with Favor in hand.
I see Favor and a Druid in hand. Meanwhile,
the ramp to turn 3 Time of Triumph if he finds it.
Yeah.
And if that Rose Leaf Druid sticks.
Meanwhile, Hoej does not have like duels, for example. Does have Berserker's Call, but you're traditionally, if you're the red player here, looking for tools to slow down, to interrupt and disrupt the red-green from ramping. We don't see enough magic in hand. Trust in standards, they're great, as we've kind of seen throughout this tournament, but not necessarily great against this list.
Now we'll see probably a Druid played in this lane from MieGod, and the Favor played from lane 3 back to lane 1. If the right draws next turn, you can find an early Time of Triumph. There isn't a duel to kill this Treant at this turn with the Axe trading for it twice. The Trust in Standards can help push some extra damage onto it though.
I'm a big fan of developing Druid here, which means it probably won't happen. That's the way it always goes in these things. You say, "Oh, this is a good play. This is obvious. This is what should happen."
There's no question about it. It would be, I think, just a clear misplay if it doesn't come down because it pushes that turn 8 Time of Triumph. But Treant does die with the Legion Standard Bearer coming down, which means that, going to slow it down by 1 turn. Well, you can still Time of Triumph, but would be on only 2 heroes. The Favor would come down from lane 3 back to lane 1. We'll see the speeded up animation in just a second, I think.
Now, even though Bristleback is going to die here, I was going to say might be some temptation to play Tresden Standards, but instead they opt on the Centaur. And I'm fine with that too.
And now Savage Wolf is an option. You could trade with the Legion if you get a curve, and you get the extra buff on the Lycan for at least this turn, but I think Salamania's Favor is a bit too tempting if you want to high roll into that Time of Triumph next turn, the possibility at the very least. We'll see if MieGod goes for a more safe play, just trying to find immediate value. The Wolf will obviously grow over time, can kill Legion this turn if it curves, which would be a huge swing for MieGod, and gets the buff from Lycan to do even more damage to the tower otherwise.
As much, well, I mean, let's be honest, as much grief as we give MieGod sometimes about the things that happen that seem lucky, one of the things you have to remember about luck is that many people call it when preparation and opportunity, meet, right? There's this whole idea that like luck isn't really luck because you played your outs. So I do want to say like hats off to MieGod for taking some of these risky plays like we saw in the first game. And no Savage Wolf curving here, instead just ramping up, and I think that's the right call.
The modify effect from Trez and Standards coming down onto Legion just to get that guaranteed value later on. We've seen it, almost win games later as well. Jasper Daggers, a big MVP in the hand of Hoej, 17 gold to spend this turn. And Axe, I have to imagine, has to come down onto lane 2 and going to try and hope for that time of time with his 8 mana.
Right now, MieGod's got it hovering over that first lane.
And 3 heroes in the fountain for MieGod means that only, this lane is the only one he's going to be dominating this turn, especially if he finds a time of triumph. Every other lane, though, a bit in favor of Hoej for now. We'll see if he finds it.
If MieGod draws this, he is, okay, I was going to say.
Does not find it.
He is just like, Captain, let's play to win, right? Because there's no reason to put this axe here unless you're just saying, okay, if I draw time, I win, right? Why not do it?
The dagger's going to answer here from Hoej. Going to kill the axe. Has a Stonehawk Cloak as well to trade. I'm going to have a turn of Solitaire in the other lanes to just take control. Make these lanes, much wider with a Legion Standard Bearer, for example.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about how you normally do it with duels or Berserker's Calls, but just through solid decision-making and play, Hoej has still accomplished exactly what you're looking to accomplish in this scenario, which is slowing down the red-green ramp deck by killing the green heroes. Got some other heroes along the way as well, but you can really make it so that the ramp doesn't matter if you, again, like slow down the green heroes.
The daggers will, I think, come in for sure here for Hoej. Gets the guaranteed kill on MieGod. No, not going to come in actually. That's very surprising.
That is surprising.
Had the chance to get the easy kill there onto the axe. No other hero trades here. Maybe
not
using
only
as a surprise factor for the stun on Primal Roar later on instead.
Yeah, maybe. Because not only do you get the kill there, but you get rid of the viscous nasal goo on your axe as well, right? So, I mean, that's the kind of value you typically want from a dagger. Is you get rid of a debuff and you help secure a kill. That is surprising.
I will fight by your side.
All right, Hoej getting a lot of attack power from that, both from the Legion Standard Bearer and the Dresden Standards.
And not much to do in lane 3 other than maybe duel a creep, but that would be a bit of a waste, I think, for Hoej. So going to be a slow lane for him. Lane 2 very much in his favor, though, with only one hero there, the Centaur Warrunner.
Yeah, and that is a bit of a bummer because you had this window, right? You had one lane with 2 heroes, everything else was solitaire, and unfortunately, at the end of this, you're going to have one tower close to half health, but not quite, one tower at full health, and another one at still above 30. So the window of opportunity not really capitalized on, and then when MieGod comes back with these 3 heroes, can completely change the tempo, swing things back in his favor, even more so if he draws any of the finishers, right? If he finds an Emissary, finds a Time of Triumph, can really wrestle control of that first lane. This is going to be a big draw for MieGod coming up.
He has to be very careful because even though he takes lane 1, if he finds Time of Triumph, he can get, a 5-hero Time of Triumph if he wants, but lanes 2 and 3 are very much in favor of Hoej, so he has to split his resources here. He has to play probably at least 1 green hero in lane 3.
I was just going to say, I expect 1 red and 1 green there, and then, yeah, this is hoping for the Time of Triumph in the first lane and then using your resources to stall on that third makes a lot of sense. Hoej recognizes this and is going to deploy that Bristle to also contest what will likely be the deciding lane. I mean, the truth is with this Treant going in the first lane and with Axe for Hoej not trading with the other Axe last round, even without Time of Triumph, it's looking like MieGod's going to take control of this first lane one way or the other.
The Triumph is not found from MieGod, so suboptimal plays. 9 mana to play with, though. He can play a Mist into the third lane to help out with some extra damage there. Can also play a Favor, for example, to have 2 lanes.
Yep, there is the Mist. And there is the Favor. So, quality job casting, sir. You are a scholar and a gentleman.
Fight through the pain won't save the act here, though. -8 attack on it.
I actually made Panda smile. You can't see it at home right now, but I actually made Panda smile.
Well, I'm not dead inside like you, so it can happen. The Brawler can come down here. We'll trade with the Bristleback. We'll survive as well. 6 mana up. The call, not too great. The daggers are not equipped, so he doesn't have the attack to kill this Bristleback as well. And the Rosie Druid dying won't stop the ramp, so...
I'm a bit surprised. I thought we were going to see the Brawler, but it looks like they were saving it for here to just push extra damage and go down next to the standard bearer and get a buff, or not
Keeping
as
initiative,
well.
I think, for the call in this lane, because all of a sudden you have the Jasper Daggers on Legion, maybe the 2-turn plan here from Hoej to Berserker's Call, kill both of these heroes and the creep here.
Yeah, it's got to be called. There's no way you make the plays that you made in those 2 previous lanes if you weren't looking to immediately do that, and that is very heads up. I like that play a lot.
Maybe the 2-turn setup from Hoej, thinking, from the last turn, not getting the kill on Axe, giving up lane 1 instead, and now he has control of lanes 2 and 3. No deploys for MieGod, and the daggers and Legion and the positioning there helping him out to get the guaranteed control of lane 3, even with a miss there.
Yeah,
countering it completely.
That was a crazy setup because those Jasper Daggers were on that Legion Commander from the turn before as well, right? You were like looking into the future to pull that off.
Time of Triumph finally comes down, but maybe a bit too late here for MieGod. And he had the fight through the pain as well last round because he did not have the ramp or the Time of Triumph in lane 3. He couldn't really do much with it. So Time of Triumph can come down here, and we'll see a Blink Dagger to try and probably wrestle back control of lane 2.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, I think this is going to be a Time of Triumph, and then Bristleback there, the big boy, is likely going to that third lane to slow things down.
Unfortunately, only 1 red hero here, which means that if you blink the Bristleback to try and get control of lane 3 with a Berserker's Call, you cannot fight through the pain as well. Because you cannot use it on, well, you can't use it with only Treant in this lane, which is very unfortunate for MieGod.
Yeah, and I mean, the downside is that you could send the Treant, but the Treant, even post Time of Triumph, only enables Savage Wolf plays down there, which, I mean, the bodies do help block.
I mean, it might be fine with 9 mana, 2 bodies, and a big Treant to get a kill here, get some cleave damage at least on these heroes. Could be enough to stall out. I think lane 1 or lane 2 is very much in control of Hoej. I think there's no point in trying to stop this at this point.
Yeah, but hear me out. If that Treant is the one that goes down, and honestly, it doesn't matter which one goes down, but if it was the Treant that went down with initiative and then they play the Savage Wolf as a blocker, that would have made for a very good Primal Roar in that third lane. And in all honesty, we may very well
Time of
still
Triumph
see.
not even played yet. That's very surprising to me.
That is maybe a misplay?
We don't see much of a reaction from MieGod. I mean, maybe just trying to get the Wolves developed in this lane. They're going to start growing over time and let just Treant do its own thing in this lane by itself, but...
It's entirely possible that he's just waiting for these other 3 heroes to come back from the fountain, right? I mean, you have 3 heroes on the bench, and...
I would have preferred seeing a Time of Triumph, followed by the Blink, followed by a Jasper Daggers, for example. In this lane, even with the Primal Roar stun onto the Bristleback, it would still give the chance for Jasper Daggers to come online, overwrite the Blink, and then still Berserker's Call to kill both of those red heroes. But surprising play from Hoej, instead going to blink the Centaur Warrunner, widen that lane with Spring the Trap, and get a much scarier situation here for MieGod.
Yeah, this is a pretty big deal because, yes, MieGod has initiative, but Berserker's Call, right, is as good as it is here, does not deal with the now Centaur army that is over here. You have the 2 and okay.
Primal Roar can't come down, which will be followed by a Jasper Daggers. We talked about them being MVP in this game. We could also just see a Mirrorfell Brawler come down instead. Yeah. But the damage is almost pushing through here for MieGod, or for Hoej rather. Lane 1 already taken down. The Centaur Warrunner blinked, but it was already blocked by a creep anyway, so it was not relevant. And now lane 3 very much in favor of Hoej, even though some of his heroes are dying this turn.
The only reason that I potentially think you save the Primal Roar here, and it doesn't matter now because it's used, but the only reason I was thinking that you might save it is with the 3 heroes coming down the following turn, there's a chance that it would have had a lot of impact or a lot of value, but doing this does also get this down to 4, so even if you don't take it right now, you set up Time of Triumph with the siege damage, just taking this the following round. Yeah, this looks like Hoej's game to lose, and it was navigated beautifully. Again, that Berserker's Call that was set up seemingly almost an entire round in advance really changed.
The Phase Boots could have gone onto the Beastmaster to save it and let one of the Centaur Hunters die, but instead goes onto Bristleback. Was already dealing damage to the tower anyway, so damage does not change. Still 4 HP here. But, well, the Flask comes in anyway and leaves it at 1 HP, so that's still a fine play by Hoej. Make sure his lane is as wide as possible.
Don't question Hoej.
He could have blinked the Bristleback to the side
right
of... Actually, no, yeah, it still would have died. Never mind.
He's playing flawlessly here.
Yeah, and an odd play from MieGod. I mean, the fact that he didn't Time of Triumph and then call the turn before is interesting. And now, even with 4 heroes coming down lane 3, if that's the case, I think if you're Hoej, you play both your red heroes in lane 1, to be honest. I think you can defend that lane. For lane 3, you only need 1 red hero with siege to survive, but looks like it's going to be a brawl in lane 3 instead. 5, yeah, I think this is the case. I think Hoej should play both red heroes in lane 1. I think this just guarantees the win. But this is also, I think, fine. With 1 red hero and a Merfolk Brawler and a duel in hand for this lane at 8 mana, you can almost guarantee you will be winning this, will be surviving this lane.
And with 2 arrows going after that melee creep, that makes it even harder for MieGod to secure this. And this tower would be much lower if, again, we had played the Time of Triumph here before the blink over.
And this means even a tie isn't a chance or an out for MieGod in lane 3. I think this is Hoej's game to win. I think I didn't really like MieGod's play last turn. I think he could have played it out differently. But still, I think it was very much in favor of Hoej.
Very surprising. Like, if you're going to blink and not use the Fight Through the Pain, just like you said, I don't see any reason why you don't do the Time of Triumph to make it bigger, and then that makes it an attractive Berserker's Call once you're over there. And just like that, Hoej is going to take this. There's just nothing in MieGod's hand.
You can Berserker's Call and clear out a big space here. But again, because this is not his first tower, even if he takes on this tower, he will be losing this one due to the siege damage from the Bristleback, and you cannot kill every hero. I mean, you have Berserker's Call and Duel, sure.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, this is a 17 HP, Bristleback, 18 HP, Legion Commander.
And that's why the Legion Commander went here. There was a very, again, heads-up play. Hoej just showing amazing forethought in this series.
There's a call. You guarantee the kill on this tower, but because lane 1 is still up, you haven't taken the tower yet. That means you cannot force the tie if you are MieGod.
Yeah, there is...
You have the dagger, so you can duel one of these 2 heroes.
Yeah, you can duel 1, but 1 is not enough. Smash finds another duel, but
not enough mana
not
for
enough
it.
Mana.
I think this has to be it. One of the 2 siege damage heroes will go through. Time of Triumph with the exactly 4 siege damage.
Yeah.
The Bristleback will die in the process anyway, so losing the damage on this tower, and that's going to be the concede here for MieGod.
That's going to be the concede.
So Hoej ends up taking it a game 1, a great start for MieGod. A very strong start to the series, but ends up failing with his, like you said, he's known for his luck maybe with red-green, but in this case, he missed the Time of Triumph for the the first 3 or 4 turns, couldn't kind of get the edge that red-green gives you in this matchup, and Hoej able to take it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that at this stage of the tournament, you cannot afford any missteps whatsoever. And even if it's something that is not necessarily a misstep, but you guess wrong, like 1 mistake can lead to your downfall in a series, and we're seeing that yet again. That's
going to be Hoej moving on in MieGod, the last semifinalist, dropping out of the tournament. Analyst panel, what did you guys think about this last great series?